Hi, this is Pete Anderson, and you're listening to Icon Fetch.
Welcome to Icon Fetch, the web's premier music interview show. Now, here's your host, Tony Peters.
Welcome to Icon Fetch. I am Tony Peters. Now, what if we traveled back in time and the tour buses for the Kinks and Louis Armstrong's Hot Five crashed into each other? Well, we'd have quite a mess. We'd have quite a mess on the road, but you might come close to the sound of the Chandler Travis Philharmonic, equal parts rock irreverence and vintage jazz with a bent sense of humor thrown in for good measure. Now, the band is celebrating 20 years together and have commemorated the event with the release of Waving Kissyhead Volume 2 and 1.
'Cause maybe this is our year. There's a chance we're not dead quite yet. Maybe this will be different. Let's give it a shot. Maybe this is our year.
And we welcome back to the program Chandler Travis. How are you, man?
I'm just fine. How are you doing?
We're picking up scraps of the Hot Fives and the Kinks along the side of the road from the accident there. So
I love that. I mean, that cracked me up. That's great.
That's good. So here we are with another Chandler Travis Philharmonic disc. And, you've been a guest on the show several times, and you have talked about how sometimes these things kind of just sort of take time because, you're waiting around for, recording time to open up and waiting for the musicians to be able to get together and all that kind of stuff. I have noticed, just looking, I'm a liner notes junkie, I saw, things that date all the way back to like maybe 2009 and 2013. So this project a little bit long in the making kind of thing?
It actually was really, the actual recording time spent was really quite short. It's just, as you say, the main thing is waiting for our engineer, waiting for Ducky Carlisle to have a day free that where he can work cheap.
Right.
We cut, obviously with 9 guys, we cut every possible corner, it really didn't take long to record. It just took long to find dates for our engineer mainly. And it's actually very lucky that he's like that, or I'd be flooding the market even more than I already do.
So, I can't help but look at the title being Waving Kissyhead's Volume 2 and 1. So why don't you explain the method behind the madness there?
Well, we released 4 songs as a digital EP as sort of a advanced taste of the album. Back in, I want to say September. I don't know precisely, but I'd say September or October we did that.
Okay.
And then, those cuts were really sort of, basically outtakes, things that I knew I wasn't going to use on the album, but they were kind of fun. So we figured we'd prime the pump with that, and then have the actual album itself come out. So the actual album we were shooting for is basically Volume 2.
Right. Nice. Okay. And so then you've
wanted to put them all on one.
Right.
On one disc for convenience.
Right.
By the way, I've got much to tell you. Like the way I was dreaming.
So then you actually have it in the physical form. So the album starts with Waving Kissyhead Volume 2, which is the proper album, and then the EP follows after that. So
exactly.
All right, gotcha. All right. When you're putting something like this together, and you've got, I hear stuff that is heavy jazz influence, and then I hear ones where you don't really hear a lot of horns at all. It's just kind of more of a straight-ahead rocker. So how do you've got all these different projects going on. You got the Catbirds, you got the Trio, you got all this. How do you decide that, okay, I'm going to do a straight-ahead rocker, but I'm going to give this one to the Philharmonic kind of thing?
You just write what you write, pretty much, and then you figure out where it goes, Okay. And there's some things that kind of straddle the line that could go to a few different places, and then every now and then you write something that doesn't fit with any of them.
Doesn't fit anywhere, right?
Start a new band.
Time to start a new band, right? That's just what you need, another band, right?
Yeah, right. Just what I need.
You got me started. You got me started. You got me started now. Where we going? You got me started. You got me started, girl. You got me started. Where we going?
All right, and as far as the writing process of this goes, are these all relatively new tracks? You got ones that have been laying around a while that you just maybe hadn't been happy with up until now, or?
I think there's just the one. I think Going Back to Work Tomorrow is an outtake from Chandler Travis Philharmonic Blows, which we put out in 2010.
She's going back to work tomorrow. Back to the same old job. Going back to work tomorrow. 9 to 5. Can't call in sick.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right. That's a great song, though. I mean, that's.
Other than that, they were all from the same. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Most of it is from a session we did it in 2013, and then we did another one where we just did like 3 or 4 songs, and I think a couple of them are going to be on the next 3-0 album, and a couple of them ended up on this album, and that was more like in 2015, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. Okay. All right. So it's interesting. If I ask you about a couple of the songs, maybe this is our year.
Yeah, we still get our ass kicked, and it all goes up in smoke. As long as we're still together, darling, that'll be okie doke.
I don't think I've ever heard "okey doke" used in a song lyric. That's fantastic.
Okie doke is such a great word.
It is.
I use it all the time. And it's great either as okie doke or okie dokie.
Right, exactly. So then you
Either
can,
way,
yeah.
Just a spectacular word.
Right, so then you can rhyme it when you've got the word smoky and you need to rhyme okie doke.
It's funny you should mention that. I was just our song of the week is actually called Smokies. It's about a little beach bar in Jamaica.
Nice. Okay, so if let's just digress for a minute. So you've got this song of the week that you've been doing.
Yeah.
And that's on your website, is that right? ChandlerTravis.com?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, all right.
That's right.
So a song every week? That's what you're putting up?
Well, it's an undisciplined version.
Right. Okay. There's not a deadline.
It's approximately every week,
Right.
or every couple of weeks. A lot of times we'll put up a couple of songs.
Right. Okay.
So it ends up being about that amount, but in not particularly punctual.
Well, that's all right. I mean, I think I'm a creative person. Then there are times when I go I don't know how long without doing something, putting up a podcast, and then I'll put up 3 in a week. So it evens out.
Right.
So I'm with you.
Exactly.
I know exactly how that works. So okay, I'm good. So with maybe this is our year. This is kind of a rosy kind of tune sort of thing, right?
I know. How about that? But I think it's a guy who's naturally pessimistic being optimistic. I think.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he knows he has basically no chance, but you know what? It's January 1st, and he's going. What the hell? Maybe we'll have some luck.
Right. Yeah. By January 10th, it'll all be up in flames, but it's all right.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
It's written from the January 1st point of view, kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
So
he once had a radio show called the Mount Cod Groundless Optimism Hour. So that's pretty much what you're dealing with there.
That's what we're getting. Okay, got it. Right. That's good. So I noticed seeing a couple of songs of familiar tunes from the project that you did with David Greenberger as well. One being
right.
the strong man of North America.
Well, I'm not the man I was. Here I am because I once was the strong man of North America.
Although you have the Bedhead mix. So then the Bedhead mix is also maybe a reference to, as I open up the CD cover here, we've got a bunch of guys here that all look like they have bedhead kind of thing going on. So.
Yeah, well, yes, and we have a Bedhead Contest going now, too.
Nice. Okay. All right. So how do we get in on that?
I think you go to Facebook and look for Waving Kissyhead Bedhead Contest.
Okay. Nice. And what kind of prizes are up for grabs? Do we?
I think you just get the catalog. You're just going to get the our catalog.
Okay. All right.
And Sorry, it's not a car or anything like that.
Well, no, but I mean, if it's the whole Chandler Travis catalog, you might take a Ryder truck to dump it off here. So.
Yes, it is a little on the facto side.
On the hefty side. That's all right. So, all right. Well, let me.
Right, but anyway, so that's the prize. And
Okay.
then, the idea, of course, is to wake up some morning when you really, really don't want to wake up. So, when things, and sometimes you look at yourself and you go, "Oh my God, how can anyone look like that?"
I don't even recognize that. Right.
That's when we want you to take your picture and send it.
Right.
And it'll be judged. I think we're going to try and we keep moving back the deadline because it's been so much fun.
Right.
And I think the deadline now is going to be. I think we're going to announce the winners on April Fool's Day.
April Fool's,
and
of course.
The judges are going to be my mom and David Greenberger's mom.
Okay, nice. Now,
which will probably subvert the whole thing.
Right, sure.
I mean, my mom, I know, will probably misunderstand and pick the neatest looking guy.
Right. His hair is so nice. Everybody else's hair is right. That's. I imagine it's probably not a good idea to take a picture of your wife's bedhead if you want to, stay not be sleeping on the couch, right?
Yes, it depends on whether you're anxious about your marriage surviving or not.
Right. Oh, that's good. All right.
I definitely recommend checking out the page because the entries have been terrific.
So you get a chance to see all the entries. That's fantastic. All right. That's good stuff. That's good. So what about those of us that have no hair? How do you get away with bedhead then? I guess I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's tough. We've had people put caps on their heads. There's
Nice.
been a lot of different.
Okay.
There's been a lot of different approaches.
Touch my hand and touch my heart now. Up to my world on a feather dive. Meant to just hang on. Pull me up to you. Hey, I'm running backwards.
That's good.
Promo on this album has actually been pretty much fun because we also put out some Waving Kissyhead balm. You can actually buy tubes of Waving Kissyhead nose balm.
Yes, and in fact, I was lucky enough to get a copy of the Waving Kissyhead it came with some Waving Kissyhead nose balm. All right,
Nice.
so see.
Yes, some of our friends in the press have been getting them for nothing. Yes.
Yes.
I hope you've used it and your nose is shiny and bright.
Yes. Maybe harmful to your nose, though. I saw that as the.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah, but who reads fine print? I mean, fine print. Well, I don't read the fine print. I always say
harmful to nose.
Right.
Yes, and our slogan is "It's your nose. Shouldn't it be shinier?"
Right. Yes. Everybody needs some nose balm. Absolutely. I mean,
absolutely.
Especially now in 2017. It's what my
really
life has
fun
been
explaining
missing.
That to people. It's been really fun explaining that to people because usually when you say it, the first thing that happens is, a generous silent moment.
Right.
Where people just go, they're just thinking, they're going, nose balm. What the fuck is that?
Right, nose balm, yeah. You search back through your history and all your schooling that you've had, and you go, no, that's not ringing a bell.
Right. But it's available wherever fine nose balm is sold.
Right, fantastic. And I imagine you can get it at any Chandler Travis Philharmonic gig as well, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If I remember to get it to the merchandise stand.
I mean, you'll have a little kiosk. I mean, you should, right? Where you can put your debit card in there and just get it.
Well, we do. We're able to take credit cards.
Okay, all right.
We're fully modernized.
Okay, good. All right, fantastic. All right. I don't know. I think at one point we were supposed to be talking about your CD, but somehow we got sidetracked here. But that's all right. So tell me, some of the tracks are have a really heavy jazz. In fact, Grand Route St. John.
St. John now. We sure missed you, man, but life goes on. Somehow the sweet magnolia blooms in spring. Surprise, surprise, there's still a song to sing. And here's the end of that song right now.
Straight ahead Dixieland kind of thing. What can you tell me about that? Almost sounds like it was done out of a jam session because the song just fades up kind of thing?
Well, it starts out with a recording of us at a parade.
Oh, really?
We usually play the Chatham 4th of July parade.
Nice.
So the beginning of that is us actually parading.
Okay.
And then it fades into and then it crossfades into a studio version of the song.
Nice. So tell me about your mom. Does your mom, is she understanding of what you do, or is she still waiting for you to get a real job?
No, she's pretty resigned to what I've ended up doing.
Okay. You say resigned, like
they took my parents took a little while on that.
Right. Okay.
She always wanted me to go into advertising.
Okay.
She liked when I was doing journalism.
Okay.
That was good for her. But they're resigned to it now.
Okay. All right. They've come to terms.
You know what helped? At one point, I got to play Carnegie Hall.
Really?
That sort of cooled them out for a decade or so.
How did you play Carnegie Hall? Do tell.
Well, we used to open for George Carlin all the time.
Okay. All right.
So he snuck us into all kinds of places we didn't belong.
Nice. Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Not everybody's got that on their resume, so that's kind of nice.
No, that was pretty cool.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to some more tunes here. Going back to work tomorrow. You got this great freaked out trumpet solo on that. Anything you can
cool?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I love that.
What can you tell me?
That's
you said that was an old one?
that.
You said that one's been laying around a while?
Yeah, that's been lying around for a while because it didn't really seem. It sort of has. I've always loved the band XTC.
Oh yeah.
And so that's one of the many songs that I've written that has a little bit of that influence in it, I think. And it's sort of, I don't know, it didn't quite fit the Philharmonic, and it didn't quite fit in the Casuals, and you know what I mean? That's one of those sort of on the fence kind of songs where it was sort of hard to figure out what to do with it.
Right. Okay.
So that was the only reason that hung around.
Sometimes you just got to wait till the time is right. So.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right. What on earth is Bobby Brown? What the hell can you tell me about that?
Well, you sound confused.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to tell you about that. To me, that relates to Duke Ellington, who I adore. Duke
Ellington, okay.
And the actual words Bobby Brown is just something. I mean, I was thinking about it as an instrumental, and then at some point, my horn player, horn, saxophone, clarinet, and keyboard, Burke McKelvey, started singing Bobby Brown to that tune, and presto, it was Bobby Brown. So there's no logic to it at all. It's much like. Some people have been asking, where the title of the album came from, was Waving Kissyhead.
Right.
And that just came from the artwork that David Greenberger did. He had done the picture that's on the cover.
Right.
And that's from, if you look at it closely, inside the character there's a picture of a couple kissing that he just found on the street. We don't know who the couple is or anything like that. It was just a little piece of found art.
Really?
And so so he just did this piece of art before we even had an album going, and the art was called Waving Kissyhead, and I loved the piece of art, and I loved the title, so we used it.
So you used it. Fantastic. All right, so that's mystery solved then. So so then on Untitled, it almost sounds like you're sort of poking fun at those bands that decide that they're not going to title a song. Is that?
That was really just one of those things where I had the tune again. It didn't really seem to need vocals all that much, although it kind of did. So there's something really depressing about writing words for a song. Before you have the words, the song could be about anything at all, and then suddenly you put the words on, and then it's just about that one thing.
Right.
Luckily, people misinterpret, so that helps.
Right, sure. Well, I mean, have you done albums of just instrumentals? I mean, I know you've had some instrumentals on your records, but have you done a completely instrumental album?
No, but I really would like to. There's really there's so much stuff around. It really would be fun. But it's sort of like, it's a little. It's like when Ray Charles would do an instrumental album. They'd be great. But Jesus, how can you have a Ray Charles album without him singing?
Right.
So it's yes, but I'm sure we will do one at some point.
Let's talk a little bit about Waving Kissyhead Volume 1, and where did the idea for the song E come from?
Something with a skull and something like a backbone rose up out of the tar pit. I said he rose up out of the tar pit. I said he rose. It's E. It's E.
That was at we had a residency at a place called the Kirkland years ago, right around 1998 or so.
Okay.
When the band was still in its honeymoon period. We had just started out and we were having so much fun. And that was just one of those things that was created on stage, I think. I don't remember. I have no idea what the real impulse was for it, other than E being the most godlike chord.
Right. That's beautiful.
It's so thoroughly rock and roll. And then I just had a great time writing the song. We've never played it very much because it's the way it's sung is just sort of murder on the voice.
Right. Oh yeah.
But now that we've put it out, I'm starting to find ways to get through it and not wreck the rest of the week.
Well, maybe you just so the rest of the week. I was just thinking the rest of the gig, but you're even talking about wrecking the.
Well, if you really sing it the way it really should be sung, yeah, you're not going to be doing a whole shitload more singing.
Right. Yeah. Your wife or your mother?
If your wife and your mother was drowning, tell me which one would you save? Would you save your dear wife or the mother that gave you birth?
What on earth, you're thinking about? That's not
I
going to.
didn't write that. That's a cover of like a Jamaican calypso song.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an ancient song, and the version I heard it off of was a single by the Virtues and the Ambassadors.
Okay.
Which to me means that they had to actually get two bands together to have the balls to actually do that song.
Yeah.
Because the first time I heard that, the opening line, which is, if your wife and your mother were drowning, which one would you save? I nearly drove off the road. I just thought that was like, it's just such an amazing line. So
yeah, so with that one,
great song to play at weddings and on Valentine's Day.
Sure, Valentine's Day, yeah, for the loved ones. Yeah, Mother's Day, that's always good. You just talked about your mom, like sort of coming to terms with your music career. That's one.
My mom is amazing, man. She's almost 97.
Oh wow!
And she's still, like she was just coming back in from lunch that she had at some some fish store where she found some deal on fried oysters.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
So she's totally up and at 'em. She's amazing.
That's fantastic. So that's good. It's good. So you are hitting the road for this kind of thing? You're doing shows with all 9 pieces, or is that kind of a logistical nightmare for a lot of gigs?
No, we do shows with 9 pieces. More often it's 8. It's hard to get our Amanda cellist, Dinty, who plays with Session Americana. They're actually somewhat successful, so they've been touring in Europe and all over the States. So you're lucky if you get us with Dinty nowadays.
Okay, all right.
Dinty was one of the founding members, and we love him to death, and vice versa. But his dance card's pretty full lately.
Right. Okay. All right.
So more often it's 8 pieces.
Okay. And
have to make do with 8.
Well, that's all right. I think 8 is still. I still imagine that's got to be a challenge to some stages that you play on, just as you know.
Oh, absolutely. That's why the 3-0 was born.
Right.
There were so many little venues that there just would be no way of doing it.
So you've got you've got this record out. You've got another Catbirds in the archives, ready to go, kind of thing, working on, or on the
Actually, not ready to go, but the Catbirds have been really killing lately. We've been having a great time. We've got a new guitar player, and we've got a good bunch of new material, and we're very, very anxious to get in and recording on that. We're having a ball with that band.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, if people want to stay on top of all things Chandler Travis, it's chandlertravis.com, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
And then the Facebook page they can find, and that's how they can be a part of the Bedhead competition there. So.
Yes, it's the obviously I've got my own stupid Facebook page, but there's also the Bedhead Contest is a Waving Kissyhead Bedhead Contest.
Okay, so it's actually its own separate Facebook page.
Yes,
okay.
Its own page.
All right. Okay. And if you want your own tube of Waving Kissyhead nose balm, you can order that online as well?
Yes, you can get that at chandlertravis.com on the merchandise page.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Okay. Yes. And don't it's the solution for all the problems in 2017. That's what everybody needs, a little Waving Kissyhead nose balm. So
absolutely, that should shape you up in no time.
All right. Well, Chandler, it's been good talking to you. And the new CD is Waving Kissyhead Volume 2 and 1, and we wish you good luck on it. All right.
Tony, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the support.
You've been listening to Icon Fetch with Tony Peters. Want more great interviews? Head on over to iconfetch.com. There you'll find every interview we've ever done, plus CD reviews, This Day in Music, and a random album of the day. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Who's Tony going to interview next? It could be you. Send us what you've got to Tony Peters, Icon Fetch, P.O. Box 292134, Dayton, Ohio. Zip code 45429. Or email Tony, host@iconfetch.com. Until next time, this is Joe Kelly. Have a great day.